Okay. Hopefully this is going live. How is everybody this morning? Wow. Lots to talk about, lots to be thankful for. I'll tell you what, man alive. Let me get into studio mode. There we go. We're good. All right. Well, hey guys, hopefully everybody's doing well. And we're just going to go and start this whole deal right now. Just going to cut this over. Good. Okay, so hey, I'm gonna wait and see if a few more people go in here. Wow. Mm, beautiful coffee. Had to get that done. And Judy's out shopping, so I was on the phone with her and stuff. But guys, I'll tell you what, 40 plus thousand. In fact, today, let me just take a quick peek because I think we're actually even up a lot higher than that. Yeah, 40,877. So almost 41,000 subscribers. And I'm going to tell you something that blows my mind. You know, I just didn't expect that we would see. I remember when I was getting into this whole deal. And Judy was, we were retired. Actually, that last bull run retired us. And I'll share a little bit about what happened and how things went down and what we spent it on. Maybe I'll give a little bit of kind of a back insight there. But I'll tell you what. Um, I'm retired here. I was retired for about 6 months. And, you can only do so many household fix-its and this and this and that. Your wife's not used to you being around the way in which like that. Although Judy and I, we have spent a lot of time together. We work together. But I'm driving her crazy. And she says, you have got to find something to do. She says, what about doing a YouTube channel? Now, this is back in June of 2022. And I said, well, who would want to listen to what we have to say, kind of thing. And guys, you've really just humbled me so much. I find it just absolutely mesmerizing. The number of people that I have been able to meet in this space and just, on the conferences, going to Quantum Summit, XRP Vegas, on and stuff like that. And of course, the coaching and these live streams and this community. Wow. I'll tell you, I really appreciate you so much. You guys have just been such a blessing. Hey, you've walked through with us a number of different things. I mean, look, we've experienced in these last 2 years just some fundamental, massive family changes. Of course, Judy's mom, she had passed away. She was 92, and just a just an amazing woman and just a servant of God and what just a blessing in our lives. And then we lost our son, 31 years old, our son, a few months, back there and stuff like that. And God has just been so good, so good. But this community, even during a lot of those transitions, wow, the support and the care and just the concern you have all shown is amazing. People have sent me just some wonderful things. I've gotten different books and, cups and shirts and hats and just the love and appreciation that you guys show me. And I'll tell you, Judy and I have such a desire to give that back to this community in such a big way, such a big way. When we're out and about, and if people come up to us, and it has certainly happened where people have recognized us, I'll tell you what, we just welcome them with open arms. Does not matter what we're doing, even if we're out one-on-one together, just having a meal at a restaurant together or something like that, and somebody recognizes us, you had better believe we will stop and take time and share with that person. Let them know, hey, you're so important. And guys, like I love to say, we make the content, but you make the community. And that is very big deal to us. I'll tell you right there. Yeah. Mm. So on today's thanks and appreciation, I'm going to give out some shout outs. Let's just go through the list of folks that are in here. And hey, if I don't get your name just perfect, mercy, because, I try a lot and it is tough. Well, we got NL Firefox in here. Really great. Paul Cross. Now, these two guys were waiting while I was getting delayed on doing it because, yeah, it was supposed to start at 10. Didn't start at 10. I had some get my coffee going here. Paul's right on that one. And on top of that, reaching out to Judy and just connecting. She's out there doing a little bit of, Christmas grocery shopping, getting all the groceries and stuff like that. We've got MotoGP. Yep, we're being good. Rig Thane. We got Surav Art. Is that Surav Rit? I think it is. I think it is. Kansas Liberty. Wow, I like that. Love liberty, that's for sure. We are libertarians, by the way. Judy and I, we don't really subscribe to any particular party. We want to go with those candidates that are really going to put forward, the cause of liberty. Liberty is big, 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 big for us. K9 Bruto, busted knuckles. Well, hey, I've busted my knuckles a few times in life. I'll tell you that right there. In fact, I got a little story. I got a little finger here as a busted knuckle, but that's for another day. Ortis Dream, Christopher Jackson McDonald, Muskoka, Ontario. Well, I know where Muskoka, Ontario is because as a kid, I grew up in Bramalea, Brampton, right off of Highway 7 there, still in Peel County. But we would actually vacation in Terracotta and we go to Wasaga Beach and all that kind of lots of stuff in Ontario. Amazing place, that's for sure. Crypto Clay. Mickle Mafia in the house. Well, I love Mickle. Do you know what? Mickle and Judy and I, we are all friends, actually. We know Mickle pretty well. Connor is such a great young guy. Just an amazing, amazing addition to this space. Really, really enjoy him, and he is a great guy. And the work that he puts in to this XRP ecosystem and community is amazing, amazing. I see him up real early in the morning doing his live streams. We actually watch Mickle's live streams from time to time and really, really do enjoy it. Try not to get into the comments there or anything on that because, you just don't want to step on anyone else's toes and stuff, but he's doing a good job. Okay, what do we got? We got James Moore. James, thank you. Thank you for being around. He says, thank you for all you do. Well, I guess, you know what, guys, if there are so many times in this space, I literally am going to tell you, I look at the glass half full, at least, minimum. But there are times when it gets, you get weary and well doing, don't you? And I'll tell you, it's the encouragement that you guys have provided that really do help us a lot get going. Haley Jade. Yeah, and hey, Haley, hi, how are you? Eric Gordon, thank you, Eric. We really appreciate those, and congratulations to the whole community. Ronald Anderson, yep, good to see you all in here. James Wendy, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's just take a look down here. Shelly, now I think it's Shelly but it's spelt with a C. I am going to talk, guys. So Shelly is asking, love the hats. Can I get it? Bless you. Well, you know what? These hats that I am wearing and a bunch of other merchandise were provided to me as just a real gift from one of our subscribers, someone that I've coached. And he is going to be at XRP Vegas. Well, him and I have been talking about being able to set up a particular type of store, maybe a Shopify store or something like that, where these products will be available. They're the best I have ever seen. And the entirety of this space, I kid you not, most people, on my own channel, we're using Spreadshop. Now with Spreadshop, they create those products and they ship them worldwide. It's all drop shipping. We don't have any control over the pricing, over the products, over practically anything. Now, what we can do is just put little logos on it, stuff like that. And I thought, well, that's, people were asking, could they buy some hats and things like that? And so I had set that up really for that purpose. But the quality is not superior in comparison to what the quality of these ones are. And so he is going to be helping probably in January. We're going to be able to launch something at that time. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. I am going to be taking down the spread shop. I'm going to be putting up his shop. And I'm not even making a dime off it. This is something we're doing for the community. And he owns a company up there in Canada that does produce this high quality stuff. And it's called Drive Design. I think it's spelled Dryve. And he's just an amazing, amazing guy. And we're going to connect with him and get this stuff going so people can get this stuff. So I hope that's going to be something encouraging to all of you. And there's a lot of different ones. Let's just take a look here. Simon Mason. Yes. Hey, Simon. Thank you so very much for that. Congratulations. Extra rich players. Yeah. Hey, I love that. I love that because it's kind of like the XRP. I love that. That is awesome. D. White, well-deserved. Mr. Dave, been watching you for a few years. Enjoy every show. Thank you so very much. Enviro Solar Films. Well, hey, I love solar. Actually, I'll give a little update. Our solar system there we've got it placed in there, and this is kind of a situation that's going down. So I live in a HOA community, one of these HOA communities, and on an acreage. And needless to say, we got approval and we installed the solar and all this and this and that. And now they're trying to come back and kind of put the squeeze on us. Well, you didn't install it the way you said, which we in fact actually did. They're just they just, are out. And in fact, one of the, the ACC committee members came down, walked over the land and all this. But these HOAs, I'm telling you, I don't think I have too much patience for them. And, I've been trying to interact with this. And, guys, it sometimes, you just got to fight the good fight. You know what I mean? So, but the solar, wow, has it ever reduced our bills? Stuff like that powers the whole house absolutely completely. In fact, there's enough out there that could probably power 2 houses. I'll tell you what. Now, Raymond, yes, Raymond, peace and blessings. Hey, from Wisconsin, absolutely amazing there. Let me just take a look here. Wade T. Now, Wade has been one of the most outspoken and greatest and long-term supporters that we've had in this channel. And I see him in the comments all the time. Now, I'm assuming Wade's, guy. I made that assumption. Needless to say, awesome, awesome, awesome. He says, good morning, David and ISO Coin family. Birmingham, Alabama here. Been around since Digital Outlook had, 3 or 4 digits in subscribers, not even 5,000. Congratulations, David and Judy. Well, Wade, we really, really value it. Totally appreciate it. Yep. David Stone. Well, it's been my privilege, but I've heard it said this because David says, thanks for leading us on this journey. Well, the interesting thing, I've heard this quote said, if you think you're a leader and nobody's following, you're just out for a walk. And I'll tell you what, this has been such a journey for all of us. We have seen it happen. And why have we been such big believers? Well, the fundamentals. Every naysayer and you name it, the FUD that's going out. I mean, even now that we're at $2.40 some cents, people are still out there FUDding XRP. Can you imagine that? When you're talking about from when we were able to buy it, we were buying it at 17, 20 cents way back then. Then even in these last corrections, we saw dips as low as 30, 38 cents, something in there. And you're telling me that in that short of time, you've seen from 38 cents to almost 500% or something like that. And that's a bad deal, but they'll FUD it. I'll tell you what, absolutely. Tomato Pete, yay. Hey, I like the little, celebration things like I've got on my back screen here, all these little celebration things there. Bo Rabbit, okay. Ron, XRP win. Hello, David. I'm also from Wisconsin. Congrats. Yeah, I can't wait to see 80,000 either. Hey, if you guys, I'll tell you what. Judy was saying, you know what you should do? You should ask them what you want for Christmas is 50,000 subscribers. I said, well, that's a pretty big ask, But if there's a lot of people watching and they haven't yet subscribed, that would be amazing to see this channel. I mean, we're only about 9,000 away from it. Doesn't seem like a whole lot now, where in the early days, man, 9,000 seemed like such a mountain to climb. But boy, have we ever made it there together, guys. We're at the peak. We're looking over there. And this is just such an amazing view. It is really, really amazing. Let's just take Leonardo Mozart. Good morning to you. Nancy Hoffman, I'm holding throughout 2025, and Nancy's in Texas. Jay Riz, congratulations from Jay Riz and the Army. Well, thank you so much, brother. I really, really appreciate that. All right, so Wade is saying here, hey, I hold Velo, Songbird, and those are, it's not just XRP. Yeah, I am a holder of Velo. In fact, we hold a big amount of Velo. And the reason I like Velo is because in Asia, where they really are utilizing it, the parent company that runs that, I think they hold like a lot of stock in, 7-Eleven or something like that. And they're using it as a payment platform. There's lots to be learned there, that's for sure. Southpaw One, happy to be subscribed here. May he give you the desire of your heart and make all your plans succeed. Absolutely true. 100%. In fact, God, the Word of God is just an amazing, source of grace and encouragement to us, because I'll tell you, when you think you've lost it all, there's some comfort there. One of my favorite verses in the Psalms is, "I would have lost hope if I had not believed I would see the goodness of God in the land of the living." Right here, right now, not when we get to, way beyond yonder and, sweet chariot, fly me away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But also that we're going to see it in the goodness of God right here in the land of the living. That is for sure. Wow, 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 wow. I'm not Terry. I haven't looked into XYO, so I can't really give an opinion. Usually, look, if I am going to give an opinion on some of these things, I want to actually take the time to really look into it, because what's the point? Otherwise, you're just offering an opinion off the cuff and you don't really know what you're doing. Let's just take a look here. Well, Norm, there's a lot of nice. You know what? You guys are nice guys. He says, couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Can't wait to meet you live and shake your hand from Hamilton, Ontario. Wow, I know where Hamilton is. That's for sure. Got some family in Hamilton, believe it or not. Now, having said all that, and I've got down here, and we got Amy D'Alessandro. Really appreciate it. Wayne Lisner. Thank you, Wayne. And Cody Knight. Congrats. Thank you, guys. Now, let's move on to the best part of this live stream, because it is Saturday, of course, and we do Saturday question and answer. So, guys, what I would like you to do, throw your questions in there. I'm going to go through them as best I can, one by one, and we will tackle some of these questions. I'll tell you what. Yeah, all right. Sudbury. I know where Sudbury is, too. Mm-hmm. All right, so we got Og Sigma. Really appreciate that. Jonathan Lubach. What I appreciate about your channel is just the simplicity of sitting on the porch, drinking coffee. Yeah, I love that, man. It's just, you know what? It's just real life, right? Tree Moon from Quebec. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Robert Russell. Okay. Are we in the bull run? Has it started? Can you explain? Yes, we can. Well, look, this is how I kind of look at it. In the 1600s, of course, the Dutch come out with these markets, right? And from that time till this, for every, I'll do it this way because we're back. For every bull market, there has been, a bear market. For every bear market, well, there's been a bull market. If we were in a bear market before, do you not think the bull market started? I mean, Bitcoin is what, over 100 and some $1,000. XRP is at $2 and some cents, 40 some cents. That, yes, I would say the bull market has started. Now, the thing is this. How long will it last? Do we really know? Can we time it? Well, timing the market is very almost next to impossible, because the thing is this. And I'll give you this example. In that bull run that we were a part of, 2020 to 2021, well, a lot of people were holding out for December, because a lot of these TA guys are saying December 2021. You know what? It ended in April. That was an 8-month miss, guys. An 8-month miss. Now, think of all the folks that had not taken any profit, that were just holding on to it, waiting for December to come along. Do you know how many that I personally know rode it all the way up and rode that all the way back down? Yes, they did. And this is something that you want to have top of mind. The thing is this. For me, when I look at it, how do you know? Well, we don't know it. When you're at the top, the thing is this, you just don't know it. You don't know it. So to time the market is very difficult, but having time in the market, like they say, is probably one of the best things. Now, I can tell you the environment the top will look at, it will be, you think it's a fevered pitch now? You have not seen anything yet. Wait until it gets out. It is going to be absolutely something. Most of you, if you've never experienced, will even have a hard time digesting yourself. And at that moment, when you see everybody and their grandchild talking about crypto, and the prices are going berserk way beyond the levels that you ever thought. You're watching candles of hundreds, if not thousands of percent today. You're at the top in my estimation. It's the environment. It's the environment. All right. Questions are coming in. So let's just go down the line. All right, Pedro, good morning. Yeah, thank you. Stronghold, is it a good buy? Well, I'll tell you what. I like Stronghold as an ecosystem, But when it comes to whether a person buys it or doesn't buy it or what, you got to do your own due diligence, don't you? And make these decisions, guys, for yourself. If I could come out and talk people into it, believe you me, someone else can come out and talk you out of it. And I sincerely mean that. Now, look, Judy and I had a filter that we used when it came to making decisions on these digital assets. Real world utility. Who's on the management team? Do they have partnerships? What was the prior price action? You got to go research all that stuff yourself. And that's how you come to those decisions. Don't base it on somebody else's opinion ever. And I mean that sincerely. So you might want to look at it. Now, I know there's a lot of good friends of mine that really think Stronghold is a really great asset to get into. And there's probably people in this chat that think that. But like I say, Rig Thing, get out there and, research that and come up with your own conclusions. I think it has some great possibilities, but that's something you need to think about. Okay, so, and plus, when you're asking, is it a good buy? Is it a good time to buy it now? Or do you wait till the price drops? Do you think it's going up or do you think it's going down? That's something that no one can really tell you, can they? Okay, so I just answered that question, Christopher. McCullough Christopher, when do you think the peak of the bull run will be? Time-wise, can't say that. Environment-wise, like I just explained there, it will be on like Donkey Kong. Okay. Yeah, the house is clean. Judy keeps such a beautiful, beautiful home, decorates it, keeps it so, so nice and things like that. And, she's just an amazing lady when it comes to doing that. Okay. And I help her too, Don't worry. We do it together, that is for sure. But she is just amazing. She absolutely manages this entire household and does an amazing job. All right, DB Crypto, good morning. Thank you, DB. Really, really value that. And you've been around for such a long time, such a great supporter. And out from Lethbridge, Alberta. Now, I have been to Lethbridge, and my sister actually lived in Lethbridge for a long time. And Lethbridge, guys, for those who don't know, is in the south of Alberta. And it's the first real major city, as you come up from the border there. From Montana, and you're coming up, and it's there. But needless to say, it's really an amazing place, that's for sure. Now, I don't know what Odinga Mobutu's message was, but they retracted it. Okay, Haley is asking, do you think Trump will get the no capital gains tax on crypto made in the U.S. pass? I think he could. I really do. And if so, do you think it will be a long process to get it done or no? Well, he could make something by executive order, and that might not be a very long process. If he comes out and says, hey, all digital assets that are created and issued in the United States, that those things, like he could make an executive order and then that's the facts, Jack, and that type of thing. Now, my guess is he's going to reach out for bipartisan support, and I think he's going to get it. I do believe they got, and they also have like the House, they have the Senate, they have, the presidency, of course. And yep, I do believe that those things are going to come down. When these platforms come out and they talk about different tax plans and things like that, and, reducing capital gains, look at the, the order that he put in when it came to capital gains tax for businesses and things like that. That went through. This, I think, could go through. And if it does, wow, is that going to be absolutely massive boon for all of these digital assets issued in the U.S. So you got XRP, XLM, Hedera Hashgraph. There are certainly others. I think Algorand's in there. Boy, oh boy, would that be a big deal. Yeah, are all those spotted drones going to drop XRP for the people? Boy, I wish, but I don't think so. And by the way, let me just say this. Don't buy into putting all these trust lines on your XRP for all of these airdrops. A lot of these airdrops come to absolutely nothing, guys. And you want to be so, so careful when you're putting these trust lines on, because they can absolutely be scams. You could end up getting real hurt. So really, really investigate that stuff before you do it. I'll tell you what right now. Because what you're dealing with there is a smart contract when you're putting those trust lines in. Okay. Do you think XRP will ever become a set price by the powers that be? I've heard, Mark, I've heard that a lot. And, there's a lot of conjecture there. I don't think it will be absolutely a set price, but I think the market will set a price. That's what I think. I think supply and demand is really going to set it. Now, Do I think we're going to see a lot of the volatility that we have seen in this space going forward in the future or long term? No, I don't. Why? Because I do believe we're going to see regulatory clarity within these next 4 years for sure. And on top of that, I think we're going to see institutional adoption and application. And I think we're just scratching the surface when we actually see a lot of these decentralized apps and how people will literally be able to interact with these various ecosystems. And I think for the majority of people, it's going to be seamless. It's going to be seamless. You're talking about the interledger protocol. And I do think it's going to be massive, massive, massive. Okay. Busted Knuckles is saying, I really enjoy your walking, talking talks best. Do you think you'll sell all your XRP or are you going to hold on to some? Thanks for all the guidance over the years. Well, this is the deal. I know people, and I remember Lewis Jackson was saying this at the time. Lewis Jackson would come out and he'd say, well, I'm never selling any of my XRP. Then something happened in Lewis's life that really changed his perspective. He started to think, look, guys, we only have so much time in life. If you could see a life-changing event that would literally set your family up, probably for your life and time, maybe for generations, that is something to consider. Now, I'll probably, look at that myself. But the thing is this, I would probably not sell all of my XRP should I decide to sell any, but you got to base that on circumstances. In a way, you cannot necessarily, as they say, follow the leader on that because everyone's circumstances are different. Now, there may be similarities to be sure, but you want to be able to know that that is your kind of like, you feel that right in your gut for yourself because there are people like, look, that whole idea of FOMOing. Well, a lot of people FOMO getting in. Do you know how many more people FOMO staying in? And I know what it feels like to see it up there and see it down there and see it up there and see it down there. And it is one hard ride for a lot of people to go through. Most people cannot stomach it, that is for sure. But for those who can, I'm telling you, do I believe that this could set them up big time? Of course I believe that. But I can't give you my confidence in that. I can share it with you for sure. But yeah, so you want to think about that for sure. But yeah, I'll probably have I have a bag to sell and a bag to hold should I see the numbers, that's for sure. Okay. How is crypto taxed in Canada? Well, it is taxed in Canada just like the normal capital gains tax. Same diff, same diff. And recently, I think there was a big change in the amount of the threshold for capital gains. So you might want to look at that. But yeah, it's cap. You just put it on the same form as you would any other investment, and it's capital gains. That's how it's taxed. Okay, let me just take a look here. Well, Amy's asking, could you explain the RLUSD and how that works? Yes, absolutely, we can do that. RLUSD is a stablecoin issued by Ripple. Now, they've just recently got regulatory approval from the NDYFS, right? And the thing is this, when it comes to stablecoins, why are they called that? Well, they're stablecoins because they're attached to that fiat currency. So in this case, the US dollar. Now, they're not algorithmic stablecoins in this case. RLUSD is backed by U.S. treasuries, U.S. dollars, or U.S. dollar equivalent investments, things like that. Now, I find it very interesting that right now, U.S. treasuries are tokenized on the XRP ledger right at the very same time that RLUSD is coming out. Big coincidence. Another big coincidence. Isn't it interesting that Tether is no longer going to be able to, and like it can't satisfy a lot of MiCA rules in the EU? So it's being delisted from a lot of exchanges out there. The trading pairs are off. And isn't it interesting that RLUSD is coming out right at that same period of time? I think they're going to take a big chunk of market share. Now, how stablecoins make money is this. Individuals, they park their cash in stablecoins. The stable coins take that amount, and it's almost like a type of fractional reserve banking, and they go out and they reinvest it. And they reinvest it in things that are not really like high risk or anything. But because of the amount of dollars involved, billions upon billions in market shares, do you know that that investment nets them hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars a year? It is truly phenomenal. Now, the stablecoin market is projected by 2030 to be in the trillions of dollars. And that's how RLUSD as a stablecoin works. Now, institutions love utilizing stablecoins. And something I want to throw out there is this. Now, think about this. If there was ever another banking crisis, most countries around the world, Canada, the US, Australia, Great Britain, they all have new legislation that there wouldn't be a bailout, but a bail in, right? Where the depositors would be on the hook for that. Now, think about this. If you're cashing out and you've got your profits sitting in your bank account, and here in the United States, you got the FDIC and, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corp, and they're only going to cover you for 250K. Well, if there's a banking crisis and your bank happens to be one of them, well, guess what? You could lose the bulk of that. So, you know what I like about RLUSD or other stable coins is that, hey, look, you don't have to cash it out in US dollars. You could keep it in that stable coin, which is tied to the dollar. It's not going to fluctuate too much, and you can keep that on a hardware wallet, and you're not subject to being exposed to the potential of a bail-in because your money is not in the bank. Ever thought of that? And maybe we could see with regulatory clarity and the application of institutional adoption that some financial institutions may say, hey, if you stake your RLUSD or your stable coins, we'll give you 5-6% when US dollars are getting like less than 1, maybe 2%. Wow, could that be big? But, then again, you have to remember, how solvent is that institution, right? hmm So that's something I think about, that's for sure. Now, let me just go on here and just see. Um, I want to make sure I'm not missing any, and I'm going down here. Okay. Um, okay, let's see. Oh, Todd is asking, what do you think the significance is that Elon Musk won't mention XRP? Makes you wonder. Well, I think he holds some. The fact that he's only ever mentioned it once that I know of, and even when he did, it was in a positive light. So, but I do think he is definitely a part of it. We know that he was the PayPal mafia and these guys, at the very beginning, definitely were early investors in Ripple. Who knows? Maybe there's a non-disclosure agreement, one of those 1,700, and you're going to see that they hold some. That's kind of how I think of it. Um, yeah, Christopher, it is nigh on impossible to say what price because once you're in price discovery, all cards are off the table. Do I think it'll breach its previous all-time high? Yes, I personally believe it will. But once you're in price discovery, it's anybody's guess, isn't it? You just don't know. Now, there are a lot of TA guys that are using, Fibonacci levels and things like that to kind of project what they think. But even there, it's all theory based. So, you know what? You just got to plan it out as you see it. There's no way of knowing. But do I hope to see double digits? Oh, I believe it. Do I believe it could in future years? Yep, I do. But to say in this bull run, very difficult, very difficult. Now, I have my own price targets, right? Am I guaranteed to see those? Nope, I'm not guaranteed to see them. Is it because I think that's all the steam that's going to be an XRP engine? Nope, that's not it either. It's because usually I have financial goals associated with those numbers up there, and that's kind of how I look at it right there. PWAC, I'm hoping to meet up with Sam from Caleb and Brown. Do they hold all your XRP and invest it? No, they don't hold all your XRP. They only hold all that you give them. And they do not invest it. They keep it in cold storage. They are not an investment firm. They're not like a bank. They don't do fractional. They are a brokerage. So they have no rights and they do not exercise any control over your assets to the point of reinvesting it and making money off of your deposits, with them like that. They do not. I'll tell you what, the car alchemist, David, what is a good exit plan for XRP? Well, you have to take my coaching to get that. Sorry, because there's too many people that have taken that coaching over the years, that I have done. And, it's really been amazing. Now, I'm not doing coaching right now. Because look, I've got to pay attention to our own backyard. So we have been advertising those exit plans, and the ability to do coaching for such a long time. And Friday was the last ones this year that we'll be doing. And we may be picking it up, of course, in the new year and things like that. And we'll throw that down and what. But yeah, it's amazing. Yes, we will be doing some meet and greets. In fact, we're working together with Alan from the Staple Crew, and we're hoping at XRP Vegas to host a night of meet and greet at a venue. It hasn't quite been decided yet, but we are working on doing that, guys, so that anyone who's going to that, you're going to have opportunity to meet us person to person, face to face. We'll shake hands, hug, take pictures, you name it. We'll have a great time. But we will be making ourselves available, Judy, myself, and by the way, I've got something else I want to share in a little bit here. But we will be making ourselves available to everybody that wants to come up and greet us and meet us. To be sure, we're looking forward to it so much. DRM, good morning. Congratulations and thanks for your videos. I've appreciated you for a long time. Well, I appreciate you, man. That's just such a blessing to us. Very humbled. Christine, hi. Dave, question. If you have a private crypto wallet, does Caleb and Brown foresee this wallet for you and work your plan? No, they don't. You have to be, now you do not have to put your assets on Caleb and Brown. You can keep them in your cold storage wallet until you're ready to sell. Now, what you can do, though, is you can custody your assets with them, and they put it in cold storage using institutional grade custody fire blocks. There's no fee for that. But no matter what, whether you have your assets with them or not, you get assigned a broker, and you know what you hold, and you could actually provide your portfolio to your broker in the sense of what you hold, how much of it, and all this and that. And they will definitely have discussions with you about, the market, all those kind of things, and you can talk about your plan and ideas with them and bounce things off of them. Absolutely, for sure. But remember, at the end of the day, these are going to be your decisions, right? So that's the answer for that. How can you learn about layer two? Where do you get interest on your crypto Well, I'll tell you what. For those who don't know, when you hear people say layer one, layer two, layer three, all that kind of stuff, it's this. For instance, a layer one is the XRP ledger. That is a layer one. Ethereum, layer one. Cardano, layer one. Well, layer twos are ecosystems built on top of the layer ones, right? And some of these layer twos have been built to allow people to stake assets and things like this. A lot more risk is involved for sure. And I would caution people because I know people that have put their assets on some of these, purported staking platforms. And they've said, oh, well, we're going to give you like 50% per annum. And all of a sudden, boof, it's gone. It was total scam. I know a couple that took my coaching and that happened to them. And they were in their 70s. And what a devastation that is when it happens, guys. Do not just so easily. There's enough, risk, in my estimation, involved in just holding these assets and the appreciation that we have been able to see hundreds and hundreds of percent, in these assets. For me to go out there and just be greedy and, risk that for more, not there. Now, should regulatory clarity and we see some big time secure institutions, offer things like that? It's not here yet, but should that come? Yeah, I will probably be looking into it. That is for sure. That is for sure. Now, how can you learn about it? Get yourself involved in the space. Go to these platforms. Read. Frank, you got a data mine. That's how you do it. You got a data mine. You got to look. You got to do your Google image searches. If not Google, DuckDuckGo. And you get out there and you research. And then on the platforms, you get the information. Research them. Find out how legit they are. Ryan F. Hey, Digital Outlook. It is safe to have multiple wallets on one account. What do you mean by that? I'm not too sure what you mean. So I'm going to answer it this way. Let's say you have a Ledger, a Trezor, Decent, Tangent, you name it. Well, those hardware wallets allow you to open up multiple different accounts. So you could have, 10, 20 XRP accounts. Yes, it's just as safe as anything else. Now, the thing is this, you want to think about your custody plan and be multifaceted in it. Why? Because most of the time these things do not get hacked, but they can get compromised. And so it's vitally important that, let's say one of them gets compromised. And how do they get compromised? A lot of people fall for these phishing scams. Oh my goodness. Ledger is, you're not going to have access to your Ledger within 3 days. You need to put in your seed phrase at this website in order to secure your ability to get into Ledger. That is, people fall for that all the time. They put it in there, and within a half hour, all of their crypto's gone. So be very wise, guys. Be very wise. Danny B. Hey, David, congratulations on reaching 40,000 subs. It's very well deserved. You're a breath of fresh air in this space. Thank you so much, man. That is just really great. Ruth Della, George Scott, a Christian-centered charity that gives glory to God the Father for everything. Our good charities to tithe to, our churches would be supporting Christian missionaries and charities. Well, Judy and I are tithers and givers. Guys, no matter what, even with charities, you want to look into them, make sure that, hey, they have some really good stewardship programs in there and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes, hey, God will lay it on your heart. It's not about getting your, tax rebate for the charity. Maybe God's going to say, look, I really need you to help this person out over here. Listen to the Holy Spirit. Allow Him to lead and guide your steps. Remember, everything that we have originated with Him, as far as I'm concerned. So, and it's not just the 10%. Maybe God does something great in your life, and He has you do something great in someone else's life. It is amazing, by the way, to know that you were used to be the answer for someone else's prayer. That is phenomenal in my estimation. All right. Matt is saying, I have very significant positions on several ISO coins and in iTrust Capital IRA. Any thoughts or direction on who to talk to when Moon and minimize early withdrawal penalties, staking, AMNs, etc.? Well, if it's on iTrust Capital, I'd be calling them. And I'd be talking to your agent at iTrust Capital and saying, hey, what are some strategies here that can minimize my exposure to tax and penalties and all that kind of stuff? So AMMs, automated market makers, I'm going to tell you right now, yes, they are a great thing, but there is liquidity risk there because you get LP tokens. And if that trading pair doesn't work out, well, guess what? You were the one supplying the liquidity, and it could actually turn on you in that way. I just answered that question there, Amy. Could you explain the RL USD and how does that work? Yeah, I did. I did already. So you're going to have to look at that. Okay. RC, hey, David, congrats. You're a really great man. Well, I don't consider myself too great. I consider myself just to be, like everybody else. We're just people, guys. We all have holes, believe you me. You may not see them, but the people who love me do. And so I'll tell you what, thank God they do love me because, when you love somebody, love is a little blind, isn't it? In fact, I heard something I think is really wild. And this came out of James Dobbs, and he was talking about relationships and falling in love and getting married and all this kind of stuff. He says, look, before marriage, keep your eyes wide open, and everything like that. After marriage, keep them half closed. I thought, hey, that sounds pretty good and true. I'll tell you that right there. All right. So, okay. I don't know what the Zaman wallet, I know about it, but look, I like, some of these. I'm not too familiar, Aaron, with that particular one, so I don't have an opinion on it. Okay, let's just go here because I saw a question there. I want to make sure that I get it. Let me just take a look here. I just want to see. It just bounced. It just skipped on me there. So I just wanna get in here and just see what's because I was following these questions and all of a sudden, okay, all right. 10,000 by 2030, depending on derivatives, etc. XRP is designed to be at 10,000. Well, hey, I'll tell you what, Mike in the clown world, I hope you are right. But you know what I often think about when it comes to these numbers by 2030? What is $10,000? What is $10,000 going to be in 2030? Well, it's going to be $10,000, isn't it? What will $10,000 buy you in 2030 is the big deal. So let's say XRP is $10,000 in 2030 and all it buys you is a cart of groceries. Have you ever thought of that? Ledger, only more value will add to the ledger. I think it goes up and never stops. Maybe a little drops, but only grow. Well, we've all hoped that, but the reality is, even in the traditional market, RC, we see ups and we see downs and that kind of thing. So you got to be ready for those. Donovan, I have seen some stuff that Jimmy Valley has put out. I know Jimmy Valley personally, and yep, I have, and he knows us. We're not like friends like that, but we're certainly associates in this space. And I respect Jimmy. You know what? I really do. I think this guy is genuinely coming out with a very sincere heart to really kind of educate people about what XRP is, about what it could do. We want to see some of these numbers. If we did, it would be mind blowing for sure. Oh, so Tree Moon is saying, do you think RLSD will become the most important stablecoin of the US? Well, will is a pretty strong word. Do I think it could be? Oh, for sure. I think it could be. Will it? Well, that is the whole point of risk. Look, I oftentimes say this. The Bible describes faith as the evidence of things not seen, but things hoped for. And I oftentimes will say in coaching, and I've said it here, look, anyone making an investment is hoping for something they have not yet seen. Now, faith needs an object. My spiritual faith is Jesus. When it comes to our asset, what is the object or our investments? It is the assets we're holding. That's what it is. So a person has to make that decision. Will is a strong word, but I'll tell you what, any investment that you make, even if the fundamentals are solid, look, it's all speculation. At the end of the end, it doesn't matter what that investment is. And in fact, even an investment in life, you can get into a relationship and you're saying, I do. You know, how many people walk down the aisle hoping they get divorced? Not too many that I know of, you know. But you can walk down the aisle thinking this is going to be my forever, and it does not turn out that way. Life can throw us so many curves, but you know what? You get to live it. Life was meant to be lived, guys. Do not try to avoid a broken heart, or otherwise you might not ever fall in love. You ever thought about that? You know, remember that song by Simon and Garfunkel where they came out and said, I'd rather be a hammer than a nail? Or I am a rock, I am an island, and a rock feels no pain, and an island never cries, don't talk love, and all this kind of stuff. What a life to live. No one would want to live that life, and that's the point of that song. It's ridiculous. Well, when it comes to investments, hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Risk is all part of it, you know, and that's the adventure of living. Take the shot. You know why most people don't achieve their goals? And I oftentimes say this too. It is not because they're unattainable. It's because they lose the resolve to do it. Fear holds them back from everything. You know, they're too afraid to ask that girl out because they couldn't handle the rejection. Should she say no? Or that guy. Meanwhile, for what they knew isn't, they were thinking, oh, I just hope he asks. I just hope he asks. But they don't. And what happens? Hey, opportunity passes them by. You know, oh, if I only had taken that job or only went to that school, man, if I only listened and not listened to the FUD, but got into Bitcoin, got into XRP, on and on and on. You see, fear is what keeps people from really living. And there's only one way to face fear, and that's to run to the roar. And what do I mean by that? When lions go out and hunt, interestingly enough, the male lion will be way off over there, and the female lion will chase the gazelle, you know, and they'll chase him towards the male lion. The male lion will get up and give a big roar. You know what the gazelle do? They turn around and they go right into the jaws of the pride, and the female lions just capture them and devour them. They would have had a better shot of surviving if they had ran to the roar. How about that? All right, so have a bag, obligatory supportive comment. Well, no one's obligated, BZ, to make a supportive comment, but I'll receive it. I'll tell you what. If someone wants to come up to me and give me an obligatory hug, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take it. Why? Because whenever somebody comes along and says, hey, I love you, to me, that's a big deal. All right, so congrats on 40K. So happy to catch this live. Miss Erica, thank you. And I've seen you around. I have seen you around. I read, by the way, Judy and I read every single comment. Now, we used to, up to the point we had, 10,000 plus subscribers. We used to actually write a personal comment back then. We were just hearting it and liking it until we got way up there where it was just so much time. But I'll tell you what, we still get in there and we read them, and I've seen you around. So really value that. That's for sure. Mark Clements. I second the question about the Zaman wallets. I don't know enough about it, Mark. I don't have an opinion. How can you have an opinion on something you haven't really researched? I mean, you wouldn't want me to do that anyway, would you? So I just don't know. Ryan F says, do you smoke, Dave? You sound clogged up. No, I don't smoke. But I will have the occasional cigar. I will do that, but I don't smoke. No, I was just, yesterday, we had a thing where we're actually renovating or cleaning up one of the bathrooms back there. And maybe that's what it is. There's some dust in the air. So that's what it could be. All right. Wizzy the Gamer. Been following you for a long time. Thank you. Of course, I won't consider it financial advice, but I'm curious what you think XRP will be worth in 2030. That is it's impossible. I could throw anything out there. There's no way that anybody can look 5 years plus down the road. I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody does. I'll tell you what, I think it'll be worth more than it is today. How about that? I can at least say that much. Okay. Ken, 50% inclusion rate up to 250K. Then above 250K, it's a 66% inclusion rate for capital gains. That's up in Canada. Thank you, Marty. That is a big deal. Now, some people are going to be sitting on gains that are over 250K Canadian for sure, and so that's something to consider if you're up there. That is for sure. Robert DeClure, I really enjoy your conversation. Would like to, oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, by the way, I am going through naturalization. I am going to be becoming a U.S. citizen very, very soon. And boy, am I ever excited to do it. It is just truly wild. Of course, Judy is a dual citizen, our kids, dual citizens. And, to be part of that with them, really amazing. Okay, David Gander. Hi, David. Do you prefer sending the coins on my ledger to Caleb Brown, or is it also safe to hold on the ledger as long as yeah, of course, do whatever you feel comfortable with doing. You do not have to hold your tokens at Caleb and Brown to have an account with them. That's what I've always said. So yeah, do whatever feels comfortable to you. For me, I've been with them for 4 years. I've seen so much happen. And guys, I have a great level of confidence there, but everyone has to do what they feel most comfortable with. Zamuth G. Sosa, hello from the Dominican Republic. God bless you. And I receive it. God bless me in the name of Jesus. Amen. And by the way, may the Lord literally bless each and every one of you in the name of Jesus Christ. I really do believe that. I do. And hey, before we even go, man, I'll bless you all for an amazing Christmas season and a holiday. That's for sure. Donovan Weaver, sorry about the loss of your mother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. She went home to be with the Lord, 92, lived a very full life. And boy, did she ever transition in great peace. Now, my son Micah, Micah was born, for those of you who don't know, Micah was born with quadriplegic cerebral palsy, and he lived his life deaf, blind, mute. That was my son Micah. And Micah was kind of like, and what's wild about that to me, is that I would hear him laugh and just, have, just like anybody else would, knowing he's stone deaf, can't see. And I used to always think, wow, what's he laughing at? Who's he laughing at? And how he's being entertained by the angels of God, and stuff like that. Well, when he went home to be with the Lord, for me, of course, your heart breaks, right? I mean, what parent wants to lose a child? It's unnatural. Like, you want your children to outlive you for sure. But I also knew that he's no longer, in that chair. He's no longer restrained from enjoying life. He can see, he can dance, he can shout, he can sing, he can, enjoy, the amazing blessings of a full, healthy, whole being, in the presence of the Lord. So for us, we didn't grieve in that sense. Of course, we miss him, but we rejoiced to know that he is absolutely out of peace and with the Lord, that's for sure. Okay. XRP 44 cents, no more. Yeah. That is kind of funny. Meet and greet in the future. Yep, we will do that. We're going to be doing that, like I said, in Vegas and things like that. We'll see what we can do. Now, if I ever make it out to, we have a lot of people watch from Australia and the UK. Judy and I have been to both the UK and Australia. We've been to Italy, many times to Italy. I love Italy. Beautiful, beautiful country. And the people I love them so much. Been to France. We were in Paris, really enjoyed Paris. Just so many different places around the world. But when we start to travel again and we actually get out to a lot of these places, as we go to different spots, we are going to be hosting meet and greets where people can just come. And if they want to meet us, we'll be advertising it ahead of time when we do it. Probably won't be till about a year down the road, but we will be doing that. And especially, in Australia there where we have our brokers and a lot of supporters there. And, but definitely when we get out to the UK again and, and all the places that we go, we want to meet up with everybody, give them a chance and stuff like that. And Donovan, oh my goodness, that would be my Christmas present if we can get the 50K subscribers. Sean B., I'm so sorry for your loss. Had no idea. I believe you and your wife are two of the nicest people I've come in contact with. Well, Sean, we really appreciate that. I want people to feel when they leave my presence that they've left it more full than when they entered it. You know what I mean? That's the desire that I have. I don't want to take anything from somebody. I want to make a deposit in them as long as they're around me. And that's my hope and desire. Now, do I achieve that all the time? Well, not all the time. Sometimes sometimes I'm not as, nice as I want to be. I'll tell you that. Like when I go, I'll tell you one of my pet peeves. And my wife, Judy, can attest to this. One of my personal pet peeves is when you drive up to a drive-through and, you're getting your order and things like that. And they say, well, can you park over there while we get it ready for you? I'm like, this is not a drive and park. This is a drive-through. It's not like, like back in the days, A&W and would have like one of these things where you drive up and they'd come out to you on roller skates. It was like actually quite nostalgic, but I remember they did that. And that's a drive and park, kind of like Sonic. If you know what Sonic is, it's kind of a little one of these drive and park restaurants. Don't drive and park. And I understand that. But boy, does it ever get me going when I go through a drive through. And sometimes I've just sat there. Nope. Will you go over there and park? No, I don't think I will. I think I'll wait right here. And boy, I get some kind of belligerent. And Julie's like, David, you just stop that right now. Kind of thing like that. But that is one of my pet peeves. Okay. BlackRock ETF coming soon. Car Alchemist says, yep, I think it will. I think it's an eventuality. And do I think that that's going to help support, underpin the prices of this stuff? Well, I do, because all you have to do is look at the past kind of thing and look at Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs and what they've done. Amazing, amazing. Wojak has a good Christmas. Okay, Ruth Della. I prefer Gemini as an exchange. They're easy to use, no free. Actually, I've just in the comments that yesterday I've heard some, people say, hey, Gemini's kind of froze them up too. So I don't know how that all is there. Now, Crypto AI has retracted a message. Not sure what it is. Quincy Jones says it will happen one day. Yep, one day it's all going to happen, isn't it? One day we're going to go to sleep and not wake up. One day, where our tooth's going to fall out. One day, there's always a one day. Yes, I think our one day will come someday. And Atlantic Living says, Dave, I can't help but notice there is these two camps. Camp 1 is the Maxi Soul Sui group, and Camp 2 is the ISO. Yeah, it always seems like there's like that, guys. But the thing that I think about is this. We need to come together in this space. Seriously, I am not against Bitcoin. In fact, I think Bitcoin will be around. But these Bitcoin maxis and all these Solana maxis and all that, even the XRP army don't look. I hold 10 other assets, and I share my portfolio in coaching, but I hold 10 other assets. Well, I hold 10 assets total, I should say that. And XRP, yep, biggest position. But I got some other really great positions too. But needless to say, I am not, when I got into the space, I'm thinking, hey, aren't we all here to make money? Doesn't matter what avenue it comes from. That's kind of how I think about it. But it seems like you got the Max Kaisers of the world and the Michael Saylors, and it's only Bitcoin and all that. Don't get yourself pigeonholed in that. That's for sure. Can you send your XRP straight from the exchange to Caleb and Brown, or does it have to be in the form of... No, you can do it. But having said this, I have heard so many people, Miguel, say, hey, I was in the process of sending my XRP from my exchange to Caleb and Brown, and then they stopped me from doing it, won't allow me to withdraw it. But when you do withdraw it to a non-custodial wallet, your hardware wallet, seems to be no problem. Then you can send it from your hardware wallet to Caleb and Brown. So that is possible there. All right. Well, let's take a look. Michael B., I like how you share God's word in your... Well, thank you. I appreciate... Hey, look, the reality is we're so multifaceted as people. If you get me, you're going to get all of me, right? I mean, I can't just sit there and pretend like I don't have these other avenues in my life. I'm a married guy, got a great wife, so we talk about that. Hey, I got a family, I'll talk about that. I got faith, I'm going to talk about that. It's not pushing it on anybody. It says, but here I am. This is me. This is what I'm about. And that's all that is. I just want people to know that. And I was like thinking, hey, would it encourage people to do a Sugar on Sunday and just share some little tidbits of, personal faith that I have seen help me to kind of endure some challenges and things like that. And so that's why I decided to do it. And of course, there's all that fear that, you could lose all. Well, if I lose subscribers for doing it, I lose subscribers for doing it, because the reality is be your authentic self no matter what. The moment you start dancing to the tune of whether or not people are going to accept you or reject you, right? If you're going to get the numbers, you're not going to get the numbers. Well, the moment you've done that, you've really sold out, haven't you? Because now you're allowing those things to kind of dictate to you, and you've basically acquiesced who you are to the pressures and the peer pressure, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, of other people. And so many people are conforming because of that. Studies have proven. One study really wild that I just heard recently is, they had gotten a bunch of people. And I think maybe I'm going to get this wrong. I'm not sure, but I'm going to try and throw it down as best I can. So there was, let's say, a square in the room or a circle in the room, in the middle of the room. And they got all these test subjects, and they had so many of them saying, well, going around and saying, nope, what is that? What do you see there? Oh, I see a circle. But it's obviously a square, but they said a circle. And they would go around and around. And what they found is even people that knew for a fact they were looking at a square would say a circle. Why? Because the acceptance of the group meant more to them than the reality in front of their face. Is that ever something? And, I'm not sure where that, I would have to look that study up, but it was something to that effect. And I thought, wow, peer pressure, that's amazing. Hey, Picasso Perfecto. By the way, I love Picassos. I think they're just amazing. And oh, man alive. I mean, just now thinking about that, we see artwork is being tokenized, on the blockchain, and you can fractionally own some of this stuff. Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? And yeah, love me from Vegas. I'll tell you what, I love you from Vegas, and I hope to see y'all in Vegas. That's for sure. Um, Hi from Amsterdam. Been to Amsterdam. What a beautiful city. Unreal. Judy took some fabulous pictures there, and people in Amsterdam. Here's a little interesting thing. When we were on a canal tour in Amsterdam, they said that 25,000 bicycles a year are pulled out of those dikes. I thought that was wild because they fall in. Who knows what? But can you imagine 25,000 a year being pulled out? That is truly wild. Anyway, but there's a lot of bicycles in Amsterdam, that's for sure. Um, I think we're in it. Chuka's saying, hello, brother. Please, can you share your thoughts on when you think the alt season will begin? I think it has started. Look, XRP's over $2. And just on November 5th, it was only 54 cents. That's 400%. I think we're in alt season. Thing is this, who knows how high it's going to go or when it's going to end, right? So there's that. Haley J, do you know the fee with the exchanges for transferring your crypto to Caleb Brown? It's not the transfer of it. See, the exchanges look at that as a withdrawal. Now, a lot of exchanges, they like to compete with one another, saying, hey, we have the lowest trading fee. And a lot of them do. Some of them have none. But you know where they get you? In the withdrawal fees, because it's not just the network fee that a lot of these things charge. They will charge an additional fee, and this is how they make, they're making money, right? Because look, these exchanges don't exist not to make money. If they're not making money on the trading fee, they're making money elsewhere, right? And it's usually in the withdrawal fees. So when you transfer something off of their exchange to them, that is a withdrawal. Whether they say just transfer, whatever. And you read the fine print and you'll find out for various assets, the fees can be something else. That's for sure. On top of the network fee. I don't know. Dylan, I want to say hello to Dylan. Dylan, I know we haven't touched base in a while, but Dylan is a bright young man in the UK, and I have had some personal interactions with Dylan, and he is a great supporter of this space. I'll tell you what, and I really have a lot of good feelings and thoughts towards Dylan, and I am not certain, Dylan, to be completely honest, what the best off ramp is in the UK, because in the UK, they have certain rules where they're not allowing people to use brokers and different things like that. And so you really have to research that and really look into it as to what exchanges would be a viable and good alternative. Now, I know Uphold has a presence there, and they are actually a brokerage, even though you don't get an assigned broker. And that may be one of the better ones. I'm not certain but a good question for sure. Mark Clements, I pray, Father God, for the protection of all our assets, yeah, including XRP and other investments. Absolutely, I agree there. Atlantic Living, hey Dave, Globe and Mail reports that Canadian banks can just use RippleNet. They don't need XRP for anything. Is that correct? Well, the thing is this. When you're using RippleNet, okay, what is RippleNet? Well, RippleNet is on-demand liquidity, isn't it? That's what it used to be called. And all that kind of stuff. Now, you can use any asset that you want on that, but the oil that runs the rails is for, XRP assets and that. Now, you do not have to use XRP. That's true. But do you know what? Most of them choose to use it. Why? Because of the efficiency. The efficiency. So whether they choose to use it or not, do you think that that is really going to hinder the technology? I don't. I do not, because there's just so many that are using it. Just like this. Look, you don't have to have an Apple iPhone, do you? No, you don't. You can, and by the way, look at all the Android phones, all multiplicity of them. Samsung, this one, that one, all using Android or whatever. You get to choose, don't you? Now, does that mean there's no market share for all those other devices? Well, we know there is, billions upon billions of dollars. Do not ever fear competition, guys. Competition is the cure for complacency, and we want to have healthy competition. That is for sure. It does not scare me one iota. That is for sure. Extra rich player says XRP will make you rich and your family very rich. That's all we have. Remember, Dave, you keep us together. Well, hey, I hope we all are going to make it there. H bar 5 cents in October. Yep, and here it is, 30 some cents, almost 30 cents. Big one, big one. All right. I just saw that XRP will go live on the Songbird network next week. Can you explain how this will affiliate? Well, Songbird, remember this. Songbird is the test net for Flare. And of course, when you're using these, assets, you're talking about, F assets and, liquidity, trading pairs, smart contracts, all of that. I think it's going to be really, really amazing and huge. So I haven't read that, but if it is, it's because Songbird is the test network for Flare right there. And so I'm assuming that they're wanting to see just how they can provide these various liquidity pools. All right. Now, Odinga is asking, I have my cryptos in Ledger Nano X and Decent Wallet. Why should I use Caleb and Brown instead? Well, no one's not saying you would store it there. But the reason I'm using Caleb and Brown, I'm going to tell you right now, is because these exchanges back in 2020, whenever anything peaked, the servers went down. And I'm telling you what, was it ever a race to the trough? And if the server went down, guess what? Do you think the market actually stopped trading? No, it did not. So with Caleb and Brown, I like the fact that I could just pick up the phone, I could contact my broker, and I could initiate my trades. And by the way, being a broker, they have access to all of these exchanges, plus over-the-counter trading and individual purchasers. When you're dealing with your one exchange, hey, you're dealing with just that liquidity. If it's Coinbase, it's Coinbase. If it's Kraken, it's Kraken. But with a broker, it's all of them at once. And that is a major deal. And by the way, they have avenues and abilities to get into those exchanges that you and I don't necessarily have. Think about that too. Okay. Yep, keeping it simple is big. Prime Crypto Puppets, congratulations, Digital Outlook. It's been a pleasure being a part of this amazing community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is really true. It has been amazing for us as well. Frank says, thank you for your answer. Most welcome. Busted Knuckles says, if someone rips you off of your crypto, can't they see where it went and get it back? No. Why? These assets are on these networks that have a lot of various attributes. One of them, of course, is the immutability of it, and that's what gives distributed ledger technology its strength. If the transactions can be reversed, and if someone else could just get in there and control the wallet that it went to, then there would be no security for any of us, would there? Because let's say we did a transaction and we bought up a whole bunch of stuff, but somebody reversed that on us and it's gone. Or our wallets could be, anyone could take control of them and just send the assets wherever they wanted to do. Well, what security would that provide? That is why it is so vitally important when you're doing these transfers. Look, when I do them, I initially do just the smallest amount, coffee cup price of it, because I know if I make a mistake, it could be lost forever. And it's so vitally important. And it's the same way when you get compromised and someone steals it. Yeah, you can see what wallets it went to. but it is almost nigh on impossible. The only thing you could potentially do is if it hits exchanges and there's a network in place where the exchanges are aware, maybe they could grab it but and hold it, and maybe they could eventually send it back. But there's a logistical thing about that, and they're not going to do it for just small amounts, but they may be able to do it for other things, right? And at that point, there would be some system in there. And I do know that Hedera Hashgraph and XRP are looking, or Ripple are looking into doing that on the XRP ledger and the Hedera Hashgraph DAG, direct oscillograph. They're looking at being able to do that, for institutional players, but there's things, multi-sig factors and all this that they would have to initiate first. Well, a lot of people haven't done that. And so for the retail guy that hasn't done that, if he loses it or he gets compromised, it gets stolen, very difficult to get back. That's for sure. Thanks for keeping us crypto AI. Wow, I really appreciate that. There's Joe. Okay. All right. Oh, it just popped there. I just want to make sure that we're getting there. I'm going to go back up here a little bit because what happens is as I answer questions, what happens is a lot of these I miss some of them because the comments go up so fast, and I'm going back here to kind of I appreciate that. This is where I'm at right now. Um and I'm just gonna see here. Let me just see. Cody, absolutely. My son Caleb, he lives in BC. And he says, "Hey, David, if you're ever in BC, would love to meet you. Randomly coming across your channel, taking coaching session has changed my perspective of not only this space, but faith in general." Thank you, Cody, man. That's very, very precious to me. And absolutely, if we're back up there, we will be doing a meet and greet probably in the lower mainland, Vancouver, Langley area, stuff like that. Um, Big love. Wow. I love that. I love that username right there. That's awesome. Thank you for always spreading positive energy. Love wins. Yeah, it does. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. Love keeps no record of wrongs, rejoices with the truth, all of that, hates what is evil. Amazing. I used to like that song. What the world needs now is love, sweet love, and not just for some, but for everyone. That is true. I hope that's true. Someone said your sugar on Sundays have saved lives. I hope that's true. I really do. Yeah, I think it's going to be amazing, Justin, to be a dual citizen. Just can't wait. Noah can't wait for the meet and greets. Wade excited to be. Yeah, guys, I'm going to tell you when my naturalization interview is done, and I've got my date that they're going to swear me in. I'm going to broadcast when that is, and I'll tell you what. If any of y'all can come, we'll fill the place. I'll tell you that would be awesome. Um, Hello, David. Robert Russell. Hello, David. Do you believe when the conservative government takes over here in Canada that they may follow suit with the USA on capital gains or at least decree? I think they could. I think they could bring it back to a reasonable rate. I mean, the conservatives are much more not as big government, and certainly they're more for creating an environment where entrepreneurship can thrive. Well, big tax is not going to do that. So, I think they will probably drop it down. I want to be genuine. Wade says, plus that genuine positivity. Yeah, it comes out naturally. It's not, I don't make it up, guys. It actually comes up naturally. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Walking the Walk says, thank you, man. Hope everyone will find happiness. Absolutely. But think about this happiness depends on happenings, doesn't it? Oftentimes. Whereas joy, real joy, fruit of the Holy Spirit joy, man, that doesn't depend on happenings. That is a gift from God. That's for sure. My wife and I have no children, but we will be generous to the life. Yeah, absolutely. There is something to be said, newfound wealth, newfound responsibility, and we are responsible for our fellow man. I agree with that. And Pavel, yes, he is. In my estimation, Jesus is the King of Kings. Okay, so Atlantic Living. I won't be able to do that. I did go the XRP rig screening in Houston. I won't be able to go to Halifax for one. But you know what? I am a maritimer. I was born in New Brunswick, St. John, New Brunswick. So I have been to Nova Scotia. That's where Halifax is, guys. Been to Halifax, been to Antigonish, been to New Glasgow, all that, those great spots there, that's for sure. Oh, thank you. Who did that? And I'm just looking here. Someone gave us a chat I'm trying to see where I could. Brandon. Okay, Brandon. Thank you so very much for giving us that super chat. Really appreciate that. That is really a great blessing. I like VeChain. Danny is saying, is BTC the Trojan horse? Could be, who knows? But VeChain, I have held VeChain since the last bull run, one of my best performers. I mean, we were buying VeChain when it was 0.004, and the last run it went up to over 25 cents. Was that ever a beauty? Yep, and I hold a good amount of that. Yeah, Wade says, hey, I have 9 other assets, silver and land. Yep, and I like bullion too, that's for sure. Okay, that's true. Okay. Wow, Anthony Amid says, yep, God is good. We have been a Caleb and Brown account set up. I do watch every day. You two are such a blessing. Well, thank you, man. That is really great. Crypto Prepper. I love that username. Absolutely, because we're crypto holders and we are preppers big time. Judy and I have been preppers for literally probably well over a decade. And kind of got that from my dad. He was a truck driver and it was either feast or famine, you know what I mean? And so, he always had a little bit more. So we kind of like, we went through some times, I'll tell you. And yeah, we for sure are preppers. That's for sure. I'm glad to hear that, Amy. Love your Sunday chats. The last two, it was exactly what I needed. The Holy Spirit is working through you. I sure hope He's working through us all. That's for sure. That is for sure. Now, yeah, that's right, George. When we sell our crypto, we will have lots of money to give to all these charities and to the Lord for sure. How did we decide on Texas for our homestead? Well, I'll tell you what, we were living in the West Coast. And one of the things that, like I had said earlier, Judy and I are big time libertarians. And when we looked at, the cost of living here in Texas and what you could actually look, if I had retired on the West Coast, the retirement would have looked way different than it did when we retired in Texas, right? Just the cost of living. And Texas is such a great state when it comes to supporting the constitutional rights of U.S. citizens, and the liberty here is amazing. They're not out to just kibosh everything and control everything, unfortunately, like California and other states do. And so for us, Texas was the obvious choice. Now, what's funny is here I am up in Canada, in the BC, which is a very, very liberal part of Canada, not libertarian, liberal. So very, very, I guess, left of center, if you will. Needless to say, my boss is walking, he's asking me the same question. Why Texas? And I said, well, 2 words, open carry. I knew that would just make him laugh or probably set him off. I don't know what, but I was in Canada, in order to have a firearm, you have to be a possession and acquisition license holder, and I was, and had a lot of, hunting rifles, really loving the outdoors and stuff like that. And so, I've always been, the guns have never scared me because I've just, I was in the military when I was young, and plus being around them so much and just respecting what they are. And, so it didn't. So I wanted to live at a place where I would have the liberty, to enjoy that part of my life, that hobby right there. Mm, there we go. I think when we so Ian is asking a great question. He says, "Hi David, Judy, do you think the utility bull run will start straight after the sentiment bull run, which has started?" Well, no, I don't. And the reason I don't is this: not that it won't have one, but I think utility bull run is going to start when the utility really gets kicking going, and that's going to have to wait on regulatory clarity, right? And so the sentiment is still going to be a driver. Could we see it this bull run? Yep. And if we do, yep, it'll be a big deal. But it might go hand in glove. They might be holding hands together, both sentiment and utility. Wow. Will that ever send it? I'll tell you what, right there. Um, Okay, let me just cannot wait to get an XR. Yeah, well, Mike, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. This was gifted. These hats were gifted to me by someone that owns a company that produces very high quality products like this, and he put it together and gifted to me. And we are working together to bring something to this community. I think it's going to be amazing. Cannot wait. In fact, in January, I'm hoping to actually do a show with him on our show where he comes on as our guest and giving you guys the opportunity to literally go and order some of these products for yourself. And look, we're not even looking at making a dime on it. This is something that he's putting together and for this community. So I think it's going to be great. Okay. I think yes, Jay Riz, the fees are negotiable, but I think it starts out, if I'm not mistaken, 3.5%. Which, by the way, when you look at these exchanges and they say, "Oh, we have no fees," they have withdrawal fees that are at least that, and other fees plus withdrawal limits, and on and on and on. And don't kid yourself, they are making the money there too. Okay. Thank you, Stefan. He's saying, God bless you and your family. God has a plan for all of us, which I absolutely agree. Not on our schedule, but his many of the plans of a man's heart. It's the Lord's purpose that prevails. I agree with that. He says, I believe your testimony reaches more people than you realize, and hopefully it does. Hopefully it does. You know? Here's one, Cody. I think this is Cody. Let me just make sure. He says, "Congrats on the 40K. Will you, Verson, Vandal, and Edo be Yes, we will. We have just been inundated with busy because we were doing all this coaching. I know Verson was doing a lot of coaching. Vandal and Edo, we plan on getting the turning point back up and going. Great question. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not sure about that question about the cold weather and whether that would help or not. I'm not a Bitcoin miner, so I'm not sure how the energy would be created for it. Okay, let's see here. Okay. I think USD Tether, Rinthing's asking a big question for this space. This is a big one, guys. Look, he's asking any thoughts on the sentiment that Tether USD is rotten and will eventually fall. I don't think Tether is really going to crash because I don't think the powers that be will allow it. But I do believe their market share is going to be significantly reduced over time and bite by bite by bite because you think a sudden crash by Tether, which is mostly utilized by institutional players, would be devastating for the global economy. Even now, not just crypto, but the global economy and all that's tied to it. So I don't think they're going to allow that, but I do believe that they are going to allow its market share to be slowly eaten away. Yes, I do. That is for sure. And absolutely, we're seeing that in the EU. What are the. Okay, okay. Um, Jamie, hello from Canada. Yeah, hey, Jamie. I love Canada. Wow, this is a big one. What is the best platform to buy crypto with the actual price it's at live? Well, most of these exchanges try to keep it as live as possible, but it moves so fast. Remember this is a 24/7, 365-day market. It's moving faster than you can type your prices in, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't miss the rain in BC, that's for sure. Hippie saying I'm in Squamish, BC. I know where that is for certain. Bird, damp, cold rain. Yep, I know in BC in the winter it can rain sometimes for weeks and not stop. How do you attend the Vegas? Go to Google and put in XRP Las Vegas. It's going to bring you. You're going to see the XRP Las Vegas site, and you can buy tickets there. Yeah, I see lots of hate on XRP, but did it make a difference to me? Nope, it didn't. I believed in it, and look at where we are today. Even on election day, 52 cents, 54 cents, and we're at $2.40 now. That's massive. I like Velo. I hold Velo, Eugene. I just haven't, I don't really do a deep dive into all the other ones. I do it for myself, but on the channel, it's mostly XRP. May. Daniel's asking, when is it coming to Las Vegas? It's in May. Lubbock. Yep. Yeah, Lubbock, Texas. Robert G. I had a question. Is it safe to leave crypto on Coinbase for I don't think it's safe to leave crypto on any of these exchanges. I use an exchange for what an exchange is, buying and selling, and then I get it off because as you accumulate, once you get to a certain amount, try to withdraw that without any hassles. It has been a monstrous nightmare for a lot of people. Maybe they'll get it eventually, but it gets tough. Now, question here. As soon as I get into my Coinbase account, should I take everything out because I don't want to be frozen out again from getting my funds when I want? Your thought? Yeah, I think Coinbase has done this a lot to a lot of people. And, a lot of these exchanges do. See, if you read the fine print, they control your crypto. And that's where the whole thing, not your keys, not your crypto, comes from. Duh. No, I don't think George is saying Donald Trump invited Canada to become a state of the USA. That would be awesome. No, it wouldn't. I'll tell you why. You will never have another Republican government in the United States if Canada became the 51st state. I'll tell you that right now. And on top of that, do you think you want to pay for all those fees and all that kind of stuff that they're doing? No, guys, you don't. Well, guys, I'm going to tell you what. Jamie Coombs has one. He says, a quick question, please. How do you feel about Caitlin Brown custody and holding your crypto? Well, I've answered that. I think that you have a custody plan and all those kind of things where it's multifaceted. You don't have to have your assets custody to Caitlin Brown for that to utilize their platform. But do I believe that it's a good spot to be? Yeah, because it's in cold storage. Guys, we have had an amazing time today. I need to let you go. Judy's going to be home and we're going to be going out and doing some Christmas stuff and things. But I want to tell you, I love you so much. We love you so much. And I just want to thank you for all the support and the blessings. I have 40,000 subscribers, almost 41. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And cannot wait till we can do another live stream. We would hit 45 and 50. And if we could do that by the end of the year, absolutely fantastic. Now, guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe and all of that. And I'm going to tell you what, I cannot wait. Tomorrow we are going to do a Sugar on Sunday and we're going to catch you there. So guys, love you so much. Be blessed and have a fabulous